What if I told you that not all women are the same? I know, it's mind-blowing. That's a provocative question. A lot of people are probably disliking the video just because I started it that way, which is crazy. It's crazy to me that just implying that not all women operate the same is provocative. And I blame this dating coach culture. Now, I'm not here to knock anybody's hustle. At the end of the day, most of these people are trying to help others in the best way that they can, which is by sharing their experiences and the lessons that they've learned from those experiences. But a lot of people have a tendency to take things at face value, especially younger people. So now you have a bunch of 13-year-old boys talking about how women only care about their status. You're 13. You don't have status. Okay, these things don't matter. And I find it very ironic that if you watch dating coaches, they'll tell you that women are all the same, or at least most of them will. Some acknowledge the fact that women are complex creatures just like men and have their own personalities. But, some dating coaches will say that all women are the same and should be treated the same. And like I said, they're not necessarily saying that, but that's how it's perceived by the audience. And they could do a better job of delivering that information. But at the end of the day, it's up to the viewer to think for themselves and just think logically. Not all women are the same. This is why all dating coaches say different things about women. You have some dating coaches who will tell you that you need to build status. Women care about status. They care about money. They care about followers, social status, the way other people view you. Some women do care about that. Some. Not all of them. Some dating coaches will tell you that it's about how you can make a girl feel. You have to make a girl feel a certain way about you. Status doesn't matter at all. Some dating coaches will tell you that you have to be an alpha. You have to be assertive and dominant. And then there's me, I just say you need to be confident and secure within yourself. And maybe I'm guilty of the thing that I'm talking about in this video, which is just spreading information without giving enough context for that information. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm perfect, but my point still stands that not all women are the same. And this is proven by these different dating coaches who all say different things. If all women were the same, all the dating coaches would be giving you the exact same advice. And quite frankly, we wouldn't need those dating coaches because everyone would understand women because they'd all be the same, which they're not. Which is why we need dating coaches. It's all very ironic and honestly, it's pretty sad. It's very sad that these coaches get so much business just off of the simple fact that men are insecure within themselves. They don't want to be themselves because they feel like if they be themselves, they won't get women, which is sad. It's really sad, and I'm not going to lie, I was like that. I think most men have been in that space before. It's not a very fun space to be in. Because what you find is that even when you do start to get women, it's not satisfying. It's not very gratifying to get a woman who doesn't actually like you for who you are. When you feel like you have to put up an act when you're with them, you don't want to spend as much time with them. I really genuinely hope that everyone watching this video gets the chance to find somebody who appreciates them for who they are. But first, you need to appreciate yourself for who you are and stop trying to put on this facade for women. People like to talk about this alpha beta dynamic, and quite frankly, a lot of it is extra. You don't really need to think in terms of being an alpha or a beta. I've seen comments on videos where people literally say that you can't laugh around women. You can't cry around women. You can't show emotion. Women like stoicism. If you're with a woman that doesn't allow you to express your emotions freely, that woman is not for you. It's that simple. That woman is not for you. That is extremely toxic, and it's damaging to your relationship with yourself because now you don't want to express your emotions for fear of how that woman will perceive you, which ironically falls under the definition of what most people consider to be beta. Okay, most people become beta trying to be alphas. It's very ironic, and this is why I don't really like to get into that terminology very often. I use alpha synonymously with the word confidence. If you're confident within yourself and secure within yourself to where you don't need a woman's validation to just be yourself, that is being an alpha in my book. But a lot of people will tell you that there's clear-cut and dry archetype for being an alpha. You need to be very masculine. You need to look a certain way. You need to talk a certain way, walk a certain way. But what they don't tell you is that this stuff all stems from being confident and secure within yourself. Now, like I said, maybe part of that is on dating coaches for, not giving people enough context. They tell you what you need to do, but they don't tell you how to do it. But a lot of it is on the viewer. People take things at face value and just accept these people's truths as their own without really living their lives. Nobody truly understands women. Because like I said, not all women are the same. People make these generalizations about women, but they're almost always based on the limited scope of experiences that they have in their life. And those experiences are validated by other people who have similar experiences. But they completely discount the people that have different experiences. They say that they're lucky, and what they don't know is that they're attracting that into their life. When they believe that women are a certain way, they are unknowingly attracting more of those types of women into their lives to validate that belief system, because that's how the law of attraction works. For example, if you think about a Corvette, you're going to start to see more Corvettes out on the street. It's not necessarily that there are more Corvettes out there. It's just that that's where your subconscious mind is on. And as a result, you'll begin to see more Corvettes. It works the same way with people and opportunities and everything else. If you believe that women only want you for your status, or you need to be a certain way to attract women, that's what you're going to find. That's how the law of attraction works. And this is the difference between me and dating coaches. And I'm not saying this to, seem morally righteous or like I'm better than them in any sort of way. At the end of the day, we're all trying to help people. We are all trying to help people. But I feel like most people put this emphasis on understanding women, where I put more of an emphasis on understanding life and the law of attraction. Because once you understand that, you realize that life is malleable. Life is malleable, and that's how you truly break out of the matrix. Now, this is something that I've addressed in multiple videos in the past, and those videos usually didn't get very positive feedback. But I'm just going to say it again because I care about you, and I feel like you should know this. When you have trauma based on your experiences, if you don't address that trauma by getting more in tune with your emotions and accepting your emotions and the pain that you may feel, you develop these limiting belief systems. And these limiting belief systems become self-fulfilling prophecies that manifest themselves into your reality. This is a problem that a lot of men have. And like I said, men find validation within the experiences of other men who have faced similar situations and circumstances. And the same goes with women too. One thing that I've noticed is that women do think like this as well. Women and men both think that the other gender is trash. It's a big self-fulfilling prophecy that is limitless because the law of attraction is limitless. This is something that you need to understand. These unicorns out there, the women that actually care about you for who you are, these women do exist. They actually exist. But if you don't believe that they exist, you'll never find one. Now, I want to touch on the alpha-beta dynamic a little bit more because this is one of the most toxic things that I've ever witnessed on the internet. And it seems like it only really exists on YouTube. I never saw this on Instagram. I never saw this on Twitter. Never saw this anywhere else except for YouTube. People need to stop worrying about fitting into that stereotype of what an alpha is. Okay, because what ends up happening is you're losing your individuality just for the sake of being more masculine. You're trying to fit into a societal archetype because of what somebody on the internet is telling you. Now, like I said, I don't like to use these terms very often, but that's extremely beta by the definition that you believe beta to be. That's what being a beta is. It's not accepting who you are for the sake of validation from other people. And, a lot of young people especially have this problem. I've never seen a grown man call another grown man a beta in real life. It just doesn't happen. That's weird. That's not something that happens in everyday social interactions. Like I said, young people tend to take things at face value. And this is why the term simp has become so popularized in the past year or two. Is because they're watching these dating coaches who are telling them that they need to, have control over the situation, and they need to, assert their dominance, and they can't show affection. But what they don't understand is that these dating coaches are trying to help provide balance to them. You need to have a balance between assertiveness and showing affection. And that doesn't come from artificially trying to do this. This has to be natural. Women can sense when you're not being your true authentic self, and that'll scare a lot of them away. The same way with men. If you're with a woman and she's trying to create this push-pull dynamic that is not there, you're going to move on from her. If you have any self-respect, you're going to move on from her because that situation doesn't serve you. Why would you want to take part in this game based on manipulation? And like I said, this is usually based on this dating advice that people get and just take at face value. Being nice does not make you a simp. I'm going to say that again because I know a lot of people need to hear this. Being nice does not make you a simp. Expressing your feelings and emotions to the person that you are infatuated with does not make you a simp. If you never express interest in somebody, they're going to move on from you. They're going to move on unless they have no self-respect. Now, this is something else that I've noticed with, dating coaches is that they're teaching you how to get women that don't have any self-respect, women that are extremely insecure. If you are seeking out insecure people, you are toxic. You're toxic. Simply put, you're very toxic. You are a manipulator and you need to work on yourself. If you're toxic and you're manipulative, that usually means that you're insecure as well. That's why you seek out other insecure people. If you were confident in yourself, you wouldn't need a woman to chase you and give you constant validation. A true relationship should be a two-way street where both people express their interest in each other. And it's crazy that I even have to say this because this should be common knowledge. But like I said, people got the game messed up. They're trying to make it into something that it doesn't have to be. You don't have to create push-pull dynamics that aren't there. You don't have to play games with people. If somebody is trying to play games with you, simply move on from them. It's that simple. They're not worth your time. They need to work on themselves or go find somebody that will play the game. Because at the end of the day, these games do not last. Every game has to end. So with all that being said, I'm going to give you the best dating advice that you'll ever hear. And I know that's a very bold statement to make. But if you follow this advice, I guarantee you that you will find the happiest relationship that you would ever find. Work on yourself first, okay? Just work on yourself. Focus on your own internal growth and learning more about yourself, becoming more in tune with yourself, and doing what you love. If you don't know what your purpose is, find your purpose and follow your purpose. Because as you follow your purpose, you're going to meet people who actually belong in your life. If you're on this path that you have no business being on, you're going to find people who are only going to take you further away from your purpose. So instead of chasing women or trying to make them chase you, chase your purpose instead. And you'll become so infatuated with life itself that you won't care about that anymore. You won't care about women chasing you. You won't care about women validation or even male validation. You'll just live your life and be your true authentic self, because when you're doing what you love, that's when you're at your best. That's when you're your most confident. That's when you're the happiest. And that's when you're in the best mental space to enter into a relationship. Now, as you follow your purpose, you'll start to meet people naturally. Don't rush this. Okay? Don't rush this. Don't be in a rush to find love. Find love within yourself first. Like I said, if you be yourself, you'll find somebody who actually belongs in your life. Somebody who will appreciate you for who you are. Somebody that you can express your emotions to without being judged, without fear of that person leaving you because they've lost interest. If you are interested in your life and the person that you're with, then you won't have to worry about all of these games and all of this little stuff that these dating coaches talk about. Okay, I'm giving you guys free game right now. This is how you live a happy life. This is how you find somebody who belongs in your life. Somebody who will add to what you're trying to do. Add to your purpose, as opposed to detracting from it and holding you back.